Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Talk Nerdy to Me podcast. I'm your host, Justin Hayward. With me today is my friend Ashley. We're going to be talking a little bit about a specific subject that she's really interested in, which is the Elder Scrolls series. And that will be today's topic on the Talk Nerdy to Me podcast. So a little bit about the Elder Scrolls series. Elder Scrolls was created by Bethesda. It was created in 1994 with the first game being the Elder Scrolls Arena. And like every game within the series, there takes place on the continent of Tamriel. The second installation of the game was called Daggerfall, which came out in 1996. And Morrowind was the third installation, coming out in 2002. And then in 2006, we had the fourth installation of the game, known as Oblivion, which is what I started on. And then moving into the final game, which is Elder Scrolls V, which was Skyrim. That is the most modern version that they've had a billion remakes of. So on that note, what was your first experience with the Elder Scrolls series?
I didn't start playing until Skyrim, the fifth one.
Okay, and when did you start playing that?
I played a little bit, probably when they came out with it on Switch, and then again when COVID happened. And then with the Elder Scrolls Online, all that.
Yeah, that's fair. See, I started off with Oblivion back in 2008 or 9. My buddy had it on his Xbox, and I used to go over to his house and watch him play it. And then I was able to play it every once in a while. And so I remember how much fun that was. And so when Skyrim came out, I was a huge fan of the idea of being able to play the system, because at that point I was able to play it on my own game system. And yeah, I've enjoyed Skyrim for a long time now. I think I've been playing it on my PS4 for a minute. But then again, I enjoy all the Bethesda games. I think Fallout's really fun too. I think they have a lot of really interesting concepts. So what impacts has the game series had on your life?
Well, during COVID with, everything being shut down, that's when Elder Scrolls Online became a thing for me, and I met a lot of people playing online, in a guild and everything, so met some cool people.
That's cool. So what's your guild name?
Sworn Swords.
Sworn Swords? Oh, see, shout out to Sworn Swords. We gotta throw them out there. So if you guys are out there playing Elder Scrolls Online, check them out. So what type of activities do you do in your guild? Is there specific roles that you guys serve, or what is that?
It was recently they've done more of the merchant stuff, because there's a whole commerce side of it that everybody gets into, but it's mostly the trials and the dungeons and some of the PvE stuff. Not a lot of the online stuff, like the PvP play.
Gotcha. So then for those people who maybe aren't as accustomed to the sort of Elder Scrolls series, is that more like World of Warcraft, where for example, different people have different roles, like tanks, healers, etc.?
It's tank, healer, and then you've got DPS.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Yeah. So basic stuff for your different martial classes.
Yeah.
See, I got you. So why do you think so many people are drawn to this game series?
They keep releasing new stuff with it. So the most recent DLC, I think, was the what was it, Dawnguard. So they reintroduced the vampire lords in there, and then they have a homesteading type thing you can do now. So where you can farm stuff, and especially with their survival mode that they have now, it's very helpful.
Yeah, I agree. I think that the interesting concepts of what Elder Scrolls is that while they've continued to stay within the same plane of existence, throughout their entire history, staying on the same continent, they've grown so much in what they can do and the diversity within the lore of themselves. And so it creates a sort of this own depth within its own storylines, very similar to Dungeons and Dragons, where you can see the constant continents of maneuvering through these spaces and be able to enjoy the sort of older style games that you've experienced from older generations, but also these newer experiences through these sort of smaller vessels. Because I think, what is it? Skyrim was 200 years after Oblivion, but I think it's almost 800 years before for EOS, before Morrowind and Oblivion, if I'm correct, for their games.
Skyrim is the most recent, I guess.
Yes, that's my understanding. Yes.
Yeah, and then ESO is supposed to be before.
It's supposed to be before Oblivion and Morrowind.
Yeah, before most of them.
Yeah, so it sort of gives you a different experience for sure. So what makes EOS different from the traditional console games, like, for example, Skyrim on your PS4, etc.?
The multiplayer stuff.
Okay.
Because you can, like, with the guild stuff and everything, you can actually play with other people.
Would you say that, like, Steam or mods are a huge component of the game as well?
Yes. For ESO, not so much. They do have add-ons that you can use, but definitely with Skyrim 5, like, mine's modded out probably way too much. So.
Oh, yeah. What kind of mods are we looking at?
Oh, goodness. Mostly texture packs. And they have some things where they've got different creators that have gone in and like remade areas that aren't in the original game, but not really a DLC either. So a big part of Skyrim 5 is like the Thalmor and everything coming in from Cyrodiil. So somebody made like a whole Cyrodiil DLC separate from Bethesda and everything.
Yeah, I agree. I think that the interesting aspect of having additional mods and other aspects of the game that create different variables. For those at home, there is a cat on the table. That is Salem, the love of my life. She is in these podcasts in the video aspects because she is an attention whore, and she wants to be a part of the show. So she's here because she lives here.
She wants snuggles.
But going into our next question, what do you think is something that we can expect in the next Elder Scrolls game?
There's a lot of talk about that. You can't eat the mic. From what I'm hearing is I think it's going to be in Hammerfell. Mm-hmm. So that's like the Redguard area, country.
That goes back to, I think, the second game with the Daggerfall, I think, was set in Hammerfall.
Yeah.
So that's going to go back to like the traditional lore, one of the more traditional lores, given that Skyrim was set more closer related to like the first game. I think having that new experience will be definitely different.
Yeah, and I've got to go back and play the older ones because I'm not really sure what all is in them either.
Yeah, the older games are really interesting. So, like, for example, Arena was really the first open world concept for this sort of series, and it gave you full access to the entire continent. Where, like, the second one, Daggerfall, was really more, like, hyper-focused on a specific area, which was the Hammerfell. And then the third one kind of went back to more of the traditional, like, aspects of the game. And then, obviously, Oblivion goes into the open worldness. And then from there, because of the success of Oblivion, that's where we got Skyrim.
Yeah.
So that's why when everyone talks about how great Skyrim is, you really don't get Skyrim without Oblivion. And that's why, for me, like, going back to, like, my roots, I really think that Oblivion was probably the game that really changed how Bethesda did their gaming system, especially with their open world concepts and sort of graphic system. I think the graphic system for that game was really what changed the mechanics, specifically the character creation portion.
Yes, that's and some of the mods too with that. They like made new characters and everything that you can do. So there's one like you can do a dwarf if you wanted to, which isn't really a thing like canonically or anything, but it's cool.
Yeah, I think it's a really great experience and a really great game series. I think moving forward, we can definitely look forward to the same sort of open world concept that we've gotten from previous games. A lot more lore and a lot more options. I think that was really something that they brought in to Oblivion and sort of the later game stages where they gave you different options versus just having a single track from the traditional first game from Arena where you had like one path and you had to kind of follow it.
Yeah.
So I really think that that's going to be multiple endings and giving you the bigger world picture of multiple options. So I think that's really what we can look forward to in the next game. And on that note, we will see you guys next time here on the Talk Nerdy to Me podcast. Again, I'm Justin. This is Ashley. See you guys next time. Take care.